When you stop to think about it, it's not all that shocking that the royal family is so full of arrogant individuals. Each of them is, after all, born wealthy and well-known, and they can enjoy the privileges of inherited riches, as well as the media attention paid to their every action. You probably would be somewhat haughty if that's how you were brought up. But that's got us wondering, who among the royals exhibits the greatest degree of arrogance? In a nutshell, which members of the royal family are the most arrogant? Keep watching to find out the 6 most arrogant British royals. Number 1. King Charles. Charles succeeded to the throne of England after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. He now ranks as the royal family member with the most clout as a result. And while you might believe that made him conceited, the word arrogance has been used to describe Charles long before he donned the throne. In her biography of Prince Charles, The Passions and Paradoxes of an Improbable Life, Sally Bedell-Smith wrote of his arrogance. The New Yorker noted that Charles is referred to in the book as plainly as a tantrum-throwing dilettante. The book also alleges that Charles genuinely dislikes being forced to fly first class and would much rather take a private plane. Oh, and he takes a white leather toilet seat with him. Whether that's arrogant or just odd, we'll leave that up to you to judge. Charles once had 85 servants, and he probably has more now since he is king. So you must grasp what they perform to fully appreciate his arrogance. The arduous task of gathering Charles's old clothing, setting out fresh attire, and even assisting the monarch in getting dressed, according to The Guardian, fell to no less than 4 separate slaves. Oh, and he allegedly has helpers who iron his shoelaces and squeeze toothpaste onto his brush, just like a completely normal and modest monarch. Number 2. Prince Philip. Prince Philip was Queen Elizabeth's opposite in many ways, even though they were married. And while he was still living, he was one of the most arrogant royals ever to walk the earth. Mashable claims that Prince Philip's attitude was largely on display when he was travelling. He allegedly informed the President of Nigeria that his official ceremony attire made him appear ready for bed. He once got a present from a Kenyan woman and immediately questioned whether she was a woman. Speaking of women, he once stated he doesn't think a prostitute is more moral than a wife, but they are doing the same thing, which appears to be a slight at his wife, the Queen. Nevertheless, Philip's involvement in the automobile accident in 2019 was his most conceited action to date. Even though Philip was completely unharmed, the other car's passenger broke his wrist and was unable to work for 2 months. There were 2 adults and 1 baby in the other vehicle. The Daily Beast claims that Philip not only refused to express regret for hurting a guy and almost killing a baby, but was also seen driving the next day without a seatbelt. If you want to be part of our family, quickly subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bell so we can keep spilling the royal tea. Number 3. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is now widely known, as is the fact that he was charged with raping a minor, a charge he ultimately settled when he got to court. Therefore, you would just anticipate him to be an egotistical monster. But trust us when we say this, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The late Queen's favourite son, Andrew grew up with a lot of privilege and had bad behaviour as a result. This included, according to the Daily Mail, everything from mocking on-duty security guards to kicking dogs when he didn't think anyone was looking. Vanity Fair noted that Andrew had been overtly arrogant for a very, very long period. The least serious of these incidents featured Andrew travelling 50 miles by helicopter for lunch alone. This prank cost the taxpayers $5,000 and gained the monarch the moniker Air Miles Andy. He also dined with Kazakhstan's dishonest president, and as a result, the president's son-in-law allegedly bought the house Andrew was selling for nearly $5 million more than it was worth. Number 4. Prince Harry and Meghan. Of course, talking about Harry and Meghan is a necessity when addressing arrogant royals. They were quite arrogant when they lived in England, which is interesting, but things may have not gotten out of hand until they departed and eventually settled in America. For instance, according to page 6, some employees of Buckingham Palace abandoned their jobs after alleging that Meghan Markle bullied them. Many of those who first asserted that this was merely a cover-up for the explosive opera interview are still standing by those assertions nearly 2 years later. When the couple demanded taxpayers pay for their security expenditures once they left the nation, British taxpayers, as you can imagine, did not want to pay to defend royals who decide to reside in America. The couple made significant news as well. And once Harry and Meghan arrived in America, they continually put the royal family in the wrong, whether it was by spreading bad linen, such as claims that a senior royal was racist during their opera interview, or by using family strife to advance their Harry and Meghan Netflix documentaries. To put it another way, they were supposedly arrogant and bullied when working as royals. After stepping down, they also alleged expected preferential taxpayer treatment, and when they didn't get it, started attacking their own families, constantly in pursuit of larger salaries. Number 5. Princess Margaret. Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret, the Countess of Snowdon, was the title she was given when Princess Margaret's sister, Queen Elizabeth II, was crowned. As any of the Crown viewers are already aware, Margaret thought she should have been Queen instead of her uninteresting sibling. But because Elizabeth was the second child, she succeeded George VI when he passed away suddenly in 1952 at the age of 56. But poor Margaret did the best she could with what she had. She devoted her entire being to becoming a countess. By the 1970s, she was spending through her yearly $103,000 expense allowance as quickly as she could. Margaret was well known for her extravagant spending, hard partying and freeloading, as well as her scandalous free-loving lifestyle. She established herself as a tabloid regular, which prompted political complaints about her being an expensive-kept woman. According to Town and Country, the princess was renowned for her purported entitlement and status as well. She was said to be nasty and dismissive of anybody she considered beneath HRH, unless they were young, attractive and male, reportedly. Margaret allegedly treated lesser royals and celebrities with contempt, in addition to making excessive and ongoing demands on her servants. An acquaintance claimed that to have attended the same home parties as Princess Margaret, and her arrogance, her petulance, her rudeness and her plain bad manners were awful. Number 6. The Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. The press pursued Sarah Ferguson as soon as it became known that she had captured Randy Andy. Since Fergie, as she was known, was continually ridiculed for her changing weight, newspapers dubbed her the Duchess of Pork. In a later interview with the Gemma and Emma podcast via The Mirror, she acknowledged that the cruel jibes were soul-destroying. Ferguson, though, made few attempts to win over the people or the royals. Before even getting married to Prince Andrew, she allegedly faced Queen Elizabeth II's anger, according to Express. Her Royal Highness was appalled by Ferguson's vulgar bachelorette party antics, including allegedly lying on the floor with bottles of champagne being fired in every direction. The situation continued to deteriorate after that. Topless pictures of Ferguson getting her toes socked by a millionaire on a yacht were circulated. She obtained a $3 million deal as the Weight Watchers representative by leveraging her connections with royal status. Fergie produced a docu-reality program about hawks, and even though she wasn't invited to Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding, she still managed to wiggle her way in by giving a TV interview on the big day and offering the pair marriage counselling via Best Life. Worst of all, according to The Guardian, was when she was discovered in a tabloid sting. Ferguson was surreptitiously recorded haggling over £500,000 in exchange for her ex-husband, Prince Andrew's support. She was allegedly the driving force behind Andrew's consenting to his infamous BBC Trainwreck interview, according to the Daily Mail. She's been charged with being arrogant and rude, which is not surprising. Do you think that these 6 royals are arrogant? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Click here to watch more videos, and thanks for watching.